Hey guys, so this is your girl Chris. Today we're going to discuss about women in Rizal's life. So our first girl is Segunda Katiba. Rizal was his puppy love, and unfortunately, his first love was engaged to be married to a townmate, which is Manuel Ruiz. The next girl is Leonor Valenzuela. She was a tall girl from Pagsanhan, and Rizal sent her love notes written in invisible ink that could only be deciphered over the warmth of the lamp or a candle. Rizal visited her on the eve of his departure to Spain and bade her a last goodbye. Next is Leonor Rivera. His sweetheart for 11 years played the greatest influence in keeping from falling in love with other women during his travel. Unfortunately, Leonor's mother disapproved of her daughter's relationship with Rizal, who was then a known filibustero. Leonor's mother hid all letters sent to her sweetheart. Believing that Rizal had already forgotten her, she married Englishman Henry Keeping, which is also her mother's choice. Next is Consuelo Ortega. So, she was the daughter of Don Pablo Ortega. Rizal dedicated her a poem which is A la Señorita Consuelo Ortega y Rey, which became one of his best works. Because of the loyalty towards Leonor Rivera and did not want to destroy his friendship with Eduardo Delete, who was also in love with Consuelo, Rizal backed out before the relationship turned into a serious romance. Next on the list is Oh Sei-san. She is a Japanese samurai's daughter and the one who taught Rizal the Japanese art of painting. She also helped Rizal improve his knowledge of Japanese language. Next is Gertrude Beckett. While Rizal was in London annotating the Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, he boarded in the house of the Beckett family. Beckett was the oldest of the three daughters and fell in love with Rizal. Beckett helped him in his painting and sculpture, but Rizal suddenly left London for Paris to avoid Gertrude, who was seriously in love with him. Next is Nelly Bousted. Rizal was a guest of the Bousted family at their residence in the resort city of Biarritz. He had befriended the two pretty daughters of his host, Eduardo Bousted. Antonio Luna, who was also a visitor of the Bousted, courted Nelly. But Nelly was deeply infatuated with Rizal. This love affair unfortunately did not end in marriage due to Nelly's mother did not like a physician without enough paying clientele to be a son-in-law. Last but not the least, Josephine Bracken. In the last days of February 1895, while still in Dapitan, Rizal met an 18-year-old petite Irish girl, the adopted daughter of George Taufer from Hong Kong, who came to Dapitan to seek Rizal for eye treatment. Rizal was physically attracted to her, but the Rizal sisters suspected Josephine as an agent of the friars. Rizal asked Josephine to marry him, but she was not yet ready to make a decision due to her responsibility to his blind father. She stayed with Rizal's family in Manila, then Rizal tried to arrange their marriage. However, the priest wanted a retraction as precondition before marrying them. As a result, with the advice of his family and friends, and with Josephine's consent, Rizal took her as his wife even without a church blessing.
Dr. Rizal as our national hero. When a person does good thing in a community or in a country, such as what Dr. Rizal did, he demonstrated the pen is mightier than the sword, and that he did not employ violence to fight against the Spaniards. Rizal's pen may have had an immediate impact, but it had a long-term impact that is still felt by the Filipinos today. Jose Rizal became a national hero in the Philippines because he battled for freedom in a quiet but effective manner. Rather than using force or aggression, he showed his love for the Philippines through his books, novels, and articles. Because he was capable of transforming the way Filipinos thought, Rizal is regarded as our greatest hero. At that time, he was a very remarkable individual. He was modest about fighting for reforms through his novels rather than a revolution. He enlightened his people about their social standing through his novel Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, which is very useful right now since it allows us to reflect on what happened in our country previously, as well as to remind us that we should not be bound by others. In the end, Rizal is without a doubt the first to view himself and his homeland as a Filipino nation to defend its independence from the colonizers. So Rizal's ideas and philosophies. He emphasizes the need of education, fostering racial pride, dignity in the people, promoting national consciousness, refocusing values and attitudes, and willingness to sacrifice for our country in his plan for nation building. The study and execution of reforms, the extension of human rights, the training for self-government, and the steering of a spirit of discontent with injustice. Cruelty, inhumanity, sensitivity, and self-love proven to be Rizal's guiding political philosophies.
Good day everyone. So today I'm going to share about Rizal Education, Second Homecoming, and La Liga Filipina. But before we proceed, I just want to share about one of my favorite quote about Jose Rizal. And this is, "The youth is the hope of our future." In this lesson, we will be able to know better our national hero. It is very important to us to familiarize ourselves about his origin, not only because he is our national hero, but also it will help us to understand how he did come up with those actions. Education in Calamba. Rizal's first teacher is Doña Chodora, wherein Doña Chodora taught him about basic writing, reading, and of course praying. Where in Calamba, he also met Maestro Celestino, Maestro Lucas Padua, and those his private tutors that time. Leon Monroy was the one who taught Rizal some basic Spanish and Latin words. Rizal's second homecoming and La Liga Filipina. Rizal's second homecoming, 1892. He arrived in Manila with his widow sister Lucia in June 26, 1892, and in the afternoon he went to Malacanang Palace. The founding of La Liga Filipina was July 3, following his morning interview with Governor General Dispo. Rizal explained the objectives of La Liga Filipina which he desired to establish. The Governor General showed some printed leaflets. Rizal denied having those leaflets, but he was still placed under arrest for Santiago. Rizal brought under heavy guard and began his exile in lonely Dapitan.
Good day everyone, mao ni ang storya ni Rizal sa Dapitan. Simple lang kinabuhi ni Rizal sa Dapitan, which is nagpalit siya yuta, then nagtukod siya eskwelahan dito na dili ka ng formal ba. Bot-botra siya iyaha. Dagan po siya mga estudyante dito. And mo to na mga pasyente po niya na nangita niya po ba kaya nangailangan og tabang or tambal. And ganun usab siya paghimo sa mga kalihukan sa agrikultura niya sa atong yang love atong kuan before siya na exile kay si Josephine Bracken, which is mamutong bayhanan na nag-atang ni Rizal na before siya na-execute kay niya makuansan to simple na kayong kinabuhi ni Rizal sa Dapitan at si Rizal kinaapil siya sa mga bayani sa Pinas kay tungod sa tungod na exile na si Rizal kay dito nga na bright kayo siya kundi kini suway siya og pagsukol sa mga Espanyol. Then moto ang pagkamatay ni Rizal moto na ang mga Pinoy kay moto nag-revolution kita moto na nanukol ta kay para lang na maundang ning slavery sa mga Espanyol sa mga Pinoy. Then o kuan pud ang pagkamatay ni Rizal kay nasay kanang kuan ba nasay meaning ba Nasa'y mabuhat mga Pinoy ba dili lang ma-waste tong pagkapatay ni Rizal. Mora gito. Mo ning exile sa dapitan niya.
The summary of El Fili. Juan Crisostomo Ibarra has changed his name and identity to rich jeweler Simon. In disguise, he travels the world amassing wealth, which he intends to use to topple the corrupt and abusive regime in his native land. But Simon's real motive is personal. In the final scene of Jose Rizal's novel El Filibusterismo, the anarchist plot of Simon to bomb a wedding and kill the powerful of an imagined town in Philippine colonial times is preempted and fails. He takes poison and goes to the residence of Padre Florentino to die. The message of the novel is clear. The present system of governing the Philippines through corrupt and self-seeking officials dominated by the friars and being submissive to their interests in one fashion or another can only lead to disaster for Spain. Both of Rizal's novels had a profound effect on Philippine society in terms of views about national identity, the Catholic faith and its influence on the Filipinos' choice, and the government's issues in corruption, abuse of power and discrimination, and on a larger scale, the issues related the effect of colonization on people's lives and the cause for independence. These novels later on indirectly became the inspiration to start the Philippine Revolution. Throughout the Philippines, the reading of both novel and its predecessors is now mandatory for high school students throughout the archipelago, although it is now read using English, Filipino, and the Philippines regional languages. El Filibusterismo was written in dedication to the three martyred priests Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, whose deaths left an indelible mark in his mind. Like Noli Me Tangere, Fili aims to enlighten the society at bringing the Filipinos closer to the truth.
So, hi guys! I'm going to talk about the highlights of Noli Me Tangere, which is written by Dr. Jose Rizal, our national hero. So, let's start. So, our topic will be Noli Me Tangere, which is a novel written by Jose Rizal, a Filipino political activist and an author, which is published in the year of 1887. It was written in Spanish. This book provides a comprehensive and passionate exposure of the brutality and corruption of the Spanish rule during here in the Philippines in the year of 1565 until 1898. So, the highlights of this is the story begins with a party that welcomes Crisostomo Ibarra back to the Philippines after studying in Europe for 7 years. His father, Don Rafael, died shortly before his return, and Christopher soon learned that he had died in prison after accidentally killing a tax collector and was killed by Christopher's home church of Saint. So, the longtime priest, which is Father Damaso, falsely accused Diego of the other crimes, so Crisostomo returned to San Diego, where he was joined by his fiancée, which is Maria Clara. So, Crisostomo decided to build a new modern school in San Diego after the principal told him that Father Damaso and the new dean, which is Father Salve, had interfered with his teaching. So, the next highlight of the story is when he was having a picnic with Maria Clara. So, they go on a fishing boat and helps the pilot, Elias, kill a crocodile. Elias later warned Crisostomo that there is a plot to murder him at the ceremony for the laying of the school's cornerstone. unended, so Crisostomo is placing mortar for the cornerstone, and then the derrick holding the stone collapses. Even though Crisostomo escaped and had an injury, the derrick operator was killed. And at a dinner later, Father Damaso insulted the new school, Filipinos in general, so Crisostomo and Don Rafael, and in which Crisostomo attacked him. But Maria Clara stopped him from killing the priest. Later, her father breaks up her engagement to Crisostomo and arranged her betrothal to a young Spanish man, which is Linares. So, Father Salve conspired with Lucas, the brother of the late derrick operator, to organize a strike on the National Guard barrack, and he convinced the attackers that Crisostomo was their ringleader. Father Salve then warned the head of the National Guard of the impending attack, and after that they failed. The rebels said Crisostomo was their leader and he was arrested after the war. So Elias helped Crisostomo escape, and they escaped by boat on the Pasig River, where the members of the National Guard were in pursuit. So Elias dived into the river to distract the pursuers and was mortally wounded. So a distraught Maria Clara insists on entering the monastery after Crisostomo Ibarra was reportedly killed. So in the dedication of these novels, Jose Rizal once explained that there was a type of cancer that was unbearable for the patient to touch, which is why the disease was called noli me tangere. In Latin, touch me. Touch me, please don't. So, he believed that his hometown was suffering as well. This novel provides both panoramic views and satires of all levels of Filipino society at the time. That was, what do you call that, a cruelty of Spanish rule was the catalyst for the country's independence movement, and it was later regarded as a classic of Philippine literature. But it is read more often in English or Tagalog, which is translation than which have a translation than in the original Spanish. So that was the highlights of the Noli Me Tangere, which is written by our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. Bye-bye.